Dust 2 is our first map, as you can tell. It ended up being Envy walking away with the victory as Tempo Storm there at the end looking a little bit disheartened, and turned out to be quite an interesting game. Envy was showing up, and maybe especially Apex showing up. Now we're going to go on to Inferno as our second map at the best of 3. Winner gets to go on to quarterfinals, and losers are out of the tournament. Yeah,
Thorn made a very good point during the downtime. You know, it's like Apex is just so hard. It's so rare to see this kind of performance out of Apex that you just kind of have to bet against him. You know, when you're going into the predictions, where you're saying, you know, Tempo Storm, you know, they are the ones to favor to win, because you're taking into account the fact that Apex so rarely turns up. So if Apex doesn't show up like the way he did on Dust 2, Tempo Storm should actually win that map, because Apex facilitated so many plays for Envy there. So going into Inferno, this is the other question, right? Usually when Apex shows up, it's like 1 map, 1.5 maps. You know, just is he going to show up on Inferno the same way? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, and if he isn't, who will take over? Who's going to be the guy to step into his shoes then? Because, I mean, obviously Envy have other members that could do this. Another question is, you know, it looks like they may be starting on the CT side. If that's true, then it could get a bit interesting. Inferno is definitely an interesting map, and we saw it earlier, obviously. Somehow it's been picked a little bit less lately.
Yeah, and like in the group phase, I guess, when you're in those best of 1 sort of situations, it seems like teams want to stay away from it just because of how wonky the CT side can be.
You remember when it was the best of 1 map?
Yep.
No one played anything but Dust 2 and Inferno for a long time in best of 1s. That was just it.
Oh, that was like DreamHack winning 2013. I think it was just like nothing but Inferno.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, then it turned into like Cobblestone. Then we just saw nothing but Cobble, and I mean, we still see a whole hell of a lot of Cobble. And in these best of 1 sort of situations, yeah, we just don't see Inferno anymore, because teams are so advanced now on that. They're so the strats are so advanced on this map now. The teams they have such a good read that they know how to punish a CT side that's low on eco. And that's what it all boils down to here. If EnVyUs can get the strong start, establish a strong economy, make sure that they have the incendiaries, the smokes, the nades necessary to have a really strong defense, it's going to get really difficult for Tempo to find any room to work with. Other side of that coin is, though, if Tempo win the pistol, then Envy can have a really rough time, because then it means maybe Kenny doesn't get his AWP in the first buy round, and you know, things don't really come together, don't gel for the Frenchman. So, I mean, we saw some friction there at the end as well. Towards the end of that first map on Tempo Storm, it seems like they were kind of bickering with each other a little bit, and that can come into that experience, right, where they need to be able to mentally check out that first map and just say, okay, that first map, it happened, whatever, it actually, you know, just move on, focus on the second map, forget any of the slight, you know, any of the mistakes that were made. We just need to focus on getting the job done here to stay alive in this tournament.
So who do you have winning this one, Envy or Tempo? We both called Tempo, I think, to win sort of the overall series. So right now it's looking a bit scary. I think YK so far is the only one who's been saying that it could have been Envy.
Yeah, and he's, I mean, yeah, it's just like, okay, good job. But as far as I'm concerned, I still think Tempo should be favored here, because if things do not go, I mean, that's just so hard to call that kind of performance out of Envy on Dust 2 right now, just because of how shaky the team has looked recently. Apex going God tier. I mean, it can't happen every day of the week, whereas Tempo have been pretty consistent so far, at least in the recent months. Katowice, they had a great performance there. Coming in here, I mean, they're still looking good, so still have to favor Tempo Storm in the end. Would like to see, obviously, you know, French beret, baguette-eating side of me would still love to see a French team actually make the top 8. Maybe a little bit of a traitor there, but still have to say that, you know, Tempo are playing good CS right now, so I have to go with them.
Well, we're about to find out. Inferno being loaded up, and on the CT side, I made a mistake earlier, is Tempo Storm. Envy going to be starting on the terrorist side, which is the less favored side. So it's important for them to win this knife round, or the pistol round here coming up, and seeing if they could get off to that good start. Some utility being picked up on Tempo Storm, as I can tell. 1 grenade already down to bottom banana, but they have 2 kits as well. You got to wonder about that.
It's a crazy challenge as well. Look at this aggression. 3 players from Tempo Storm pushing all the way to the bottom, and then they get that smoke down to block off T. What the hell are EnVyUs thinking at this point? Luckily for them, they don't get split in half, and that's what Tempo were hoping for. They were hoping to catch somebody out in mid, hoping to just, you know, sandwich in on Envy and pick up a kill here or there. But EnVyUs, they're just all sitting back in T-spawn. So the smoke, actually, they're just perfectly fine with this. They're like, okay, sit and wait. Happy still posted up in apartments. The rest of us are alive. We still have all of our utility. It's almost as if they're just starting the round fresh all over again.
Yeah, a round fresh where Tempo have 2 armors, and that's it. So these Glocks, any kind of a body shot coming in on anyone that isn't Showtime or Bolts here is going to just result in a lot of aim punch. And that's very hard to recover from. Now, pushing top banana, the smokes are gone. They can't even stop them right now. They're going to need to have a quick rotation coming in, and there is a 3rd man coming for them. But look at this, MBK running Phelps down. Again, he had no kind of armor. Running into construction here, it's going to be Henny trying to see if he can hide it, but they're all rotating in from the same angle right here, Tempo Storm, and that's not necessarily good. No one is coming through Banana, and Happy's going to realize that in a couple of seconds, and then he could go back and help out. It's a very, very difficult retake that they're setting themselves up for right here. Tempo Storm be almost a miracle if they could make it work. Lucas starting off well, taking down NBK, and looking for more of an opening here. And Envy, again, just buying time, waiting all the way in the back. This is going to take such a long time for the Brazilians to finally come and find them. Kenny looking for the shot. They almost line up. He's not killing anyone yet. Kenny missing all the shots right now. Oh, no, he's got that knife out in the back. He can't even reload. And there's going to be another shot coming through. Bolts doesn't have a kit. I think they're out of time. Envy, they simply took so long to die in that bomb site. And it is going to be the Frenchman walking away with a win here. First map of Inferno, first round of Inferno.
What madness. To have run out of bullets on the USP as well. How insanely frustrating is that for Kenny to be blocked behind new boxes like that? But that is like vintage Envy, you know? Kissing the, you know, my fingers are French, you know? Just magnifique, beautiful. Because they just run in as a group, no fear. Straight juggernaut onto the B site with the flash as well, the pop flash that goes right off at the entry. So if somebody's holding close, hoping to get a lucky headshot, boom, nightmare mode for him. He has to run back, he dies, and then Envy just, that's the kind of classic Envy that you're looking for. They run in as a unit, and they just lock down the site, and it's so difficult to get that retake going for Tempo.
I was about to lose my mind when Kenny couldn't hit any of those three players that were lined up. That looked truly horrific, but it works out at the end. Now, there is armor and pistols here being picked up by the CT side, even a scout on Henny. It's not always a preferable weapon when you're on a map like Inferno. You could pick up a Max 7 or something like that instead, see if you could get close enough. Even with the armor, you could do some significant damage, but see if it's going to pay off or not here. They do have 3 men over at middle, so a bit of a crossfire going on if anyone wants to challenge that. And then Lucas and Phelps covering the B-bomb site. If Lucas actually has a flashbang that he could pop in for Phelps out there, so we'll see if that's the plan. It already popped up, actually. Phelps not finding any kind of a kill. I think just a little bit late maybe with the coordination there.
Well, this is going to get chaotic. Smoke's going down, but they're hearing plenty of footsteps here, Tempo Storm. And they will be able to pick up one kill. That's Showtime coming through big. Big flash coming through, and actually Bolt's getting caught in the corners. Kenny is going to sandwich him in there. And now it's Henny with this scout just trying to get the tags. And it's all about this crossfire that's been established, although Showtime just gets completely run down. It's all on Henny, just doing massive work. 2 kills for him, but he will finally get overrun. Just doing big damage in the end, but it's just not going to be enough. 2 players still alive here for EnVyUs, and the afterplant on the A site means that they should be able to establish the crossfire of their own. So Lucas actually just charges in, and he hits this headshot on Kenny. Where did that come from? Spots the man in pit, and he doesn't have Kevlar to take that fight. If he'd had Kevlar, it might have been a completely different situation there for Apex.
How does Henny get any kills from that position? It's just a really weird round. Tempo Storm shouldn't have been able to do nearly anything at that point in time. That was a strange turnaround. But it will be Envy winning it, and they know now that they're not going to be up against armor once again, and as such, they go for just the 2 AKs and a couple of pistols, mag 10 here, so very sort of light buy. But they could probably afford it, and that kind of grenade is a monstrous start. If they had a follow-up here, that'd be all of Tempo gone. Now they're going to go and fight instead, running right in to every single member of Envy, and that'll be the close of the round. I mean, imagine if they had another grenade there. That could have been a triple for 1.
How frustrating must it be when Apex gets dropped down to like 3 HP? You don't get a single kill either for Tempo. You get naded when you're going for your stack. You're just crossing your fingers, hoping that EnVyUs are only going to leave NBK there again, right? Just not have too many bodies to throw at you, not going to actually commit the nades to clearing out top banana. Well, sometimes that's just the way it works, and sometimes you just kind of have to shake it off, start thinking about the next round, which is what they're doing here. Henny, aggressive peek in mid with that AWP, looking for that opening shot, but he's going to get flashed out and not land it. So EnVyUs now, they're going to be able to start moving up towards apartments, and this is where it starts getting, you know, going through the motions, basically. Camp bottom banana, wait for that smoke to clear out. That's NBK. And the rest of EnVyUs, in the meantime, are going to start working their way up into apartments, getting control here.
See this Max 7 that we were bringing up earlier. Very close range. Yeah, he's falling back a little bit. Oh, that was a shoulder peek as well. Going to get the one shot in. About as good as he could have done it there, Showtime. Very, very dirty peek coming out with the knife out as well to peek that corner. And you could tell that Emmy thought he was going to be further back with a rifle instead. So potentially could have been a bit interesting. Now it's a 4-on-4. Phelps playing alone in Archway with a FAMAS. That's a very, very weak point on the map right now for Tempo Storm. It's going to be careful if he goes down. He goes for the shot early on. Now 2 people charging around the corner, and Kenny to pick up the shot. Henny, a nice pickup on Kenny, turning around for it, ready, seeing them all might be coming. There's only about 35 seconds here left. This is a bit scary.
This is all about the man in pit, Bolts, if he can stay alive, because that bomb is stuck at Arch. But Henny and Bolts are both going to be focusing on short, and Henny just looking for the point-blank shot. That opens it up for Happy to wrap on him. And it all falls apart here for Tempo Storm in a key round. The first buy round for them, and on TT side Inferno, it's so important that you stop the terrorists here at 3 rounds, that you win this round decisively, you start developing your economy. Now Tempo Storm, they're about to need a round of eco to the teeth, and they aren't even going to be able to make it out here to save a gun. Happy just catches out the man. Lucas trying to save that M4. It's just not meant to be. 4-0 for Envy, and Tempo Storm once again on pistols. It's not going to be until the next round that they actually have all the nades necessary.
Wow, I mean, it looked like things were going really well. At the point where Henny takes out Kenny, I think that's where it seems to sort of shift in their favor. But I think you're right. They lost that pit player, and that was all that took the round away from them.
It's between Bolts and yeah, exactly. And if Bolts is struggling, Henny wants to come back to support, but that opens up Happy, and Happy just played that perfectly. Got right in behind them. So great read on Happy's part in the end. And well, we're back on the pistols, as you guys can see. Tempo Storm kind of just sitting around. Phelps is going for the aggressive peek into second mid, but he's going to be backing off now. And once again, Tempo Storm with 4 players on this A site, hoping that Envy are going to get impatient, run into a crossfire. But gotta admire Envy right now. They're showing some real poise. Just waiting it out, playing a very solid anti-eco for now.
Yeah, they don't want to run into any kind of a weird stack, any kind of weird trick. They know that if there's a pop flash waiting somewhere like that, it's just a matter of time before it gets used. Happy does get caught, actually, as he's turning around there. So, at least they managed to steal a little bit of an AK there. Lucas hiding inside with the deagle in hand. They are going to be pretty close range here. But as soon as he's revealed, he should be going down. He tries for the mad clicking, but not going to be working out. So, Bolts, AK, try and run away, save it somewhere. Not a bad idea.
Yeah. And they have so much money on the EnVyUs side right now that it's worthwhile to go for the hunt. See if you can actually pick him off. So Apex, he's just kind of scoping around. Little does he know the man is waiting in pit, but the rest of Envy are closing in with him, and so he should figure it out eventually, and Bolt shouldn't be able to hold on to this AK. A little unfortunate that Happy is kind of like out on his own. That's usually what Happy does, though. He does get frag hungry. Goes out there looking for the stats. And so he's actually turned this into a little bit of an awkward situation here for Envy, but they should eventually be able to track this guy down. Bolt here, here's the man pushing him up on short. Now they need to peek together, Envy, and they get the job done. NBK will drop that AK. And so a 5-0 lead, nothing going here for Tempo Storm so far. But finally, it's just like finally they have the money to go for the full buy.
I feel like at the same time, Happy, he has a sort of a, persona, a personality to maintain as well, a reputation, He is the master beta, just to follow up on the, the line of jokes we were doing on Dust 2.
Yeah, man.
Gotta put that in there.
Always trying to get off. Just getting those frags, but this time around, man, he just gets punished. Little limp. But NBK, he's putting up one hell of a fight here.
That was almost a triple lineup. It would have been through a pillar and a wall then, but that actually looked like he was about to hit 2 or 3 people with that one shot. Smoke gonna go up, but Envy are not gonna respect it. They line up once again, but Tempo Storm, they just cannot get enough shots out. Now they line up for Lucas, and he's gonna get the one shot in, but both Apex and NBK are low on health. This is doable. They could just kill one member crossing here, otherwise the retake is gonna be extremely tough. And look at Happy, he's actually in underground right now, looking, so he knows no one's coming. They can focus all their attention on the rest of the entrance into B right here. It's going to be a 3-on-3 retake, and Tempo Storm, they kind of have to go for it. They can't just let Envy get up 6-0 here.
No, there's no saving now. There's no backing off. It's time to get the job done. And Kenny boosted up, gets checked. Lucas, some great awareness from him. Bolts another nade kill. That's 2 nade kills so far in this round. And now it's all on Happy, and he just walks right through the smoke into the waiting arms of Bolts. They have the kits as well for the defuse. Plenty of time for that. And a key round now picked up here for Tempo. They finally managed to make it work for themselves. A 3-on-3 retake that works out flawlessly. And how often do we actually see 2 separate HE kills coming in like that? Just great nade usage coming in here for Tempo. But in the meantime, at the end of the round, good timing for Phelps to crash, actually. Looks like Phelps, we might have just a little bit of a hiccup here as Phelps dropped off the server. So an opportunity here for EnVyUs to pause and reflect a little bit on how things are going here for this first half, because they are up 5-1, and they have the chance now to reset Tempo Storm's economy.
a critical round, an absolutely necessary round here for the Brazilian side. Not so easy to go and try and retake that in a 3v3 necessarily, but they managed to do it.
Yeah, no time wasted at all. Phelps right back onto the server. The countdown has begun to get into this, and both teams, 3 players survive for Tempo, so great money for them. They get all the rifles, all the nades. But we're just gonna have to see more of this fearless play. That again is, you know, that again, it just sums up EnVyUs right there. Just when they're on point, they play this kind of game that's just like this aggressive wrecking ball, you know, full Miley Cyrus straight onto a site all together. And once again, it works there for them. They actually manage to just go through, and it doesn't matter if there's a man waiting for them. There's so many guns that come through the smoke that they just, you know, even if it's a 1-for-1 trade, that's fine as far as EnVyUs are concerned, because then they just don't stop running. They get onto that site.
It's Hannah Montana. You're not supposed to know her name. It's like the core part of the show somewhere. I don't know if you've been keeping up or not. 7th round.
There's a joke, but it's like a little bit too edgy.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Not with Miley.
7th round is coming up here, and Tempo Storm, they've only gone a single step in the right direction. They need to continue a hell of a lot longer. They've gone for a classic gamble on the CT side of Inferno, stacking 4 at A, with Henny playing slightly aggressively over at B, and the hope is that he can see what's coming quick enough. They could fall back and get some backup here. Flashbang to buy time, but that's all his grenades used. And that's also because they don't have the money for it. If they had been winning more rounds, if they had a better economy, he would have a smoke to put up, he'd have a Molotov, he could buy even more time for his teammates here. You can see they've lost banana control now, and Henny, now he has to hit just dead shots here, and he's already been spotted out. Smoke's raining in. Look how much he's being zoned out. Envy are just playing a very strong game right now, and Apex looking for blood, and that might have been just a bit too much. Happy goes down as well to Phelps, and now it's a 3 vs 5 retake. And Tempo, they have to be able to do this. This is a round that they cannot afford to lose once again, and they should be winning it as well. They've got the man advantage. The bomb has only just gone down. Henny walks right into Devil, peeking on top of the coils there. Lucas gets the information. Very good communication coming out here. Phelps going to be getting 1, and then a follow-up as well, making it a triple, surviving on 2 health. And Tempo Storm finally with the 2nd round. But look at how much they just force Henny back. It's so hard. When he's on banana, they pop flash in, he has to fall back. Goes for coils. He gets 1 chance at a shot where he's half flashed, and as soon as that stops, he's smoked off again. Just almost no chance to do anything there.
Yeah, and he's just so quick with the op. I mean, that kill onto Apex. Apex barely saw the guy, and he was already dead. So, Henny, you need to block this guy out. So, I mean, again, yeah, when you have the nade advantage, that's how you're supposed to use it. You're supposed to make that op completely ineffective. It's just the fact that Apex decides, you know, to keep pressing forward to look for that kill and just zone him out completely. Well, he gets punished. And now, once again, Henny, he's going to be feeling fired up. He's taking that aggressive position in mid and spots the man going past. This is a force buy coming out here from Envy this time around. 4 Tech 9s and the single AK picked up on Happy, who had a little bit more money than the rest. Although, as I say that...
Oh, classic Envy.
Yeah, NBK have got the Mac 10 as well. But now, full execute onto the A side. EnVyUs, they're just kind of going through their playbook right now. Execute onto B, now the execute onto A, not wasting any time. Very aggressive take, and there's the tag onto Apex, but they will get shut down. Bolts and Henny just doing work right now, even the Swag 7 getting into it.
Wow, they're crushing them in a round like this. It might seem like nothing, but that particular round from Envy has wrecked so many top teams on Inferno. So many, and everyone knew that it was happening. There's a very sort of distinct constellation of smokes that goes in towards Library, towards Archway, and they sort of run. You know it's coming, you know the smokes are landing, you know exactly what's happening, and yet it's so hard to stop. So well played on Tempo Storm. It's not easy to try and put that particular strategy to rest. Gotta be, you know, a little bit annoying for Envy as well, because that, you're right, it is like a go-to thing for them. It's I would almost say invariably for a while, if Envy ever took a tactical timeout, or if they were starting to lose a couple of rounds, that would be the thing. As soon as they could buy enough smokes and grenades for it, that would be what they did.
Oh, this is insanity from Henny. Look at this. I mean, he's all the way up posted in apartments. He's got Showtime backing him up as well. Molotov's going to go down, however. Envy is showing again that they have a strong enough economy to afford the nades, and that might have caught Tempo Storm off guard, but they will be able to fall back in time and reset this defense on the A site. Minute 10 seconds left, though, for Envy to work, and they still have plenty of nades. Again, they have all of their smokes and some flashes. They're just down their Molotovs. So they can still go for a big they can still go for a big smoke execute once again, Envy. That man waiting in new corner is going to be a bit of a problem, but there we go. Great flash, and Apex, he can't capitalize. He's not fast enough. And in the meantime, his teammates are getting shredded. just spray through the smoke, and Kenny is down to 5 HP. Happy's down to 36 as well.
Well, they got the entry, but you're right. They're all very soft right now, and that could definitely backfire. Bolt's in the corner, no one's checked it. They line up for him in front, but he only gets the 1 kill. That's nowhere near enough. Henny doing a fantastic job. Oh, he turns around! He gets that shot on Devil! Henny, what are you doing? That's a quad kill! Takes out the rest of Envy. And Tempo Storm, what a round.
And I'm so glad for the replay function at this point. Boom, that second kill is just unreal. This is a bit easier, but that 180, this is like Henny just waking up right now and basically doing what Apex did to them on the first map. Just getting big plays, keeping his team in it. 4 rounds on the board now for Tempo Storm versus EnVyUs' 5. And this time around, it is the 4. Well, yeah, it is a big buy coming in here from EnVyUs, basically nearly tapping out their bank. And, well, aggression top banana again. They just refuse to give this up tempo. The smoke goes down, but they're already through. They get caught on the edge of the car, however, and Lucas, he's able to get the spray. 1 for 1, and now it's all on Phelps. Picks up 1, but again, EnVyUs making this effective. Getting the trades, basically, going in as a unit. Had they just been a series of duels, that would have been fine for Tempo, but the fact that there's always somebody there to trade for Envy, that's what makes it an effective play onto this B site.
Somehow Showtime missed the spray early on as well, so Envy have a man more than he should have been, but he makes up for it, taking out Apex, blind shot through the smoke, and Tempo, they cannot let go of this round. That was a huge play from Henny last round. They need to continue with that momentum here. Bomb is down, and they're trying to see if they can wrap around. Great angle being taken there from Happy. Now it's a 2-on-2. Bomb still ticking. They both have kits. Showtime, he's so low on health. This spray is really dangerous. Gonna be Happy going down next in line, and NBK in the corner takes 1, turns around. He's looking for the triple, and he sprays him right through the ledge, going for the quad kill, in fact. And that'll be NBK with a counter clutch right into a 6-4 lead here. It does not quite reset Tempo Storm. They did win 4 rounds in a row, but it's getting dangerously close right here.
Yeah, it's far from pretty. Because Tempo Storm, you can see just how close some of these rounds have been. Single AWP picked up on Henny. He's been doing work, but then the rest of them is just like this mix of weaponry. So this is EnVyUs, this big chance to run away with this first half. After that win, AK's all over the place, but of course, Henny, he's gonna have something to say about that. Picks out NBK. NBK roasts him right back, though. No way to get out.
He just dropped a grenade on his feet. That wasn't a smoke.
I don't even.
I mean, in real life, you might actually be able to blast out the fire with just the shockwave, but in this world, you just die. I have no idea what that was, but it was hilarious.
The real problem, though, man, is that they just lost Henny. Tempo, and he's the one who's landing all the big shots. So the heavy hitter is down, and now Envy, it looks like they want to rinse and repeat. It's going to be Lucas holding that AWP on the B site, but it's only him solo. The rest of his teammates are over on A, and the smoke goes down perfectly as well. It looks like he wants to try and chance some kind of play, but misses the jump onto the coils and decides to fall back and wait for the cavalry to arrive.
Oh, but that might be perfect if he spots out Happy here. He's playing by the tree, real close, and Happy going to be taken out by bolts. It looked like Lucas might actually go back to check that for a moment, but he suffered the exact same fate that Henny did over there. They just get simply grenaded back into construction, and now another retake coming in here. Tempo Storm have been doing them quite well, and Lucas, a stunning shot going in onto Devil. That's a good start. Kenny and Apex up here, and he's been quiet for a little bit. Now it's his time. Kenny takes down 1, and that sends Apex flying, challenging off that box, and runs right in and takes out Showtime. Now Bolt's going to go for it once. He's still there, and Apex not even buying that it could have been a fake. He just charges. Once you fire him up, he's just not going to stop, is he? There's no off button on Apex in these rounds.
He's just a machine. What the hell was that falling spray? We're going to get it into replay here for sure. He actually... yeah. How does he even get that second one, considering he's like wasted half of his clip on the first body? Not even a live guy. All right, Apex. Fine. 7 rounds on the board now for Envy, though. And this is it. This is the golden time. This is where they get to just play the game and have fun, because they've got a huge lead now going into this. Tempo Storm are reset. They're broke. They have no money. And so this is where Envy really just get to rack up mad rounds. I'm not really sure how Tempo Storm are going to be able to actually, get things back under control, because it's just going to be so far away from them. They have to just reset and think about that T side at this point. Cross their fingers and hope they can get a few more rounds on the CT side, but EnVyUs, they're just going to have this massive lead. So now we get to see, you know, that lack of experience perhaps coming into it because the pressure is going to be enormous on these guys. It's all about this second half. Happy will be able to miss the shot, rather. I was about to say he could hunt down Henny there. He is actually going to commit to it. Nearly gets caught out as well. Nice shots coming in from Henny. If he'd had a PK-50, that would have been done.
Oh, Showtime wishing he had something else, anything at that point. It's hard to get kills on anyone. You don't have any armor with that pistol. And Envy making a good call, realizing that there was a stack going on in B, which indeed that was true. Wow, yeah, this is going to be such an uphill fight from here on out for the Tempo Storm team. And they are mapped down, so all of the pressure right now is on them. I feel like behind that ridiculous round from Henny, if they could have built more on that, they would have had the momentum, they would have had that good team feeling that we're actually doing this. But because it was countered, it was shut down immediately afterward in the following round. It's hard to build anything on top of that.
Yeah, no joy either for Tempo Storm. They can't even drop anybody as EnVyUs exit the site. So Kenny, he's the security. He's just going to stay back in pit. Should survive the bomb blast and just make sure that there's no shenanigans over here. Snacks isn't on the server, so they don't have too much to worry about.
Did someone say shenanigans?
Shenanigans. But 8 rounds, man. 8 rounds on T-side Inferno. And Tempo Storm now having to go for the buy, but it's just kind of, once again, just cobbled together. Henny, glass cannon, AWP, no kits, not a max nade count. This isn't looking too good here for Tempo Storm, so we'll see what they're able to come up with. Once again, going for 3 towards, no, just a single man towards B, or 2, not the 3 towards B. I was expecting some kind of aggressive play on Banana, but it looks like they actually are choosing to play more of a passive role as Henny's going to take the pick in mid, and again, miss. He hasn't had too much joy with that play so far, so he's definitely going to be feeling, this might prompt him to start, you know, hunting more aggressively, which is something that EnVyUs can punish in the end. If the enemy offer is tilting, it means they might take a few more risks that he wouldn't otherwise. And EnVyUs are just waiting for that. Although in this round particularly, they're actually just setting up for B again. I mean, they're just like, well, everything is working on B, so let's just keep going to the, you know, the round voluptuous letter.
It makes sense as well. Lucas close here, max 7. He's not even gonna get a chance to click the trigger. Phelps trying to charge through is dead before he even makes it out of the smoke. And the rest, Tempo Storm, they should not even think about fighting this. Immediately back off and save what you have. I was about to say, if they can make it 8-7, it's still definitely doable now. The best they can do is 9-6, and I think that's bordering on the absurd here. Envy, I mean, we obviously can't really say what they're like with Devil on this map, but sort of the strongest iteration of Envy we've ever seen. They were very, very scary on this map.
They're probably thinking right now, it's just like, okay, Henny misses that shot in mid, and so they know where the op is playing from as well. You could think that they want to rush together as a body because you can try and rush down the op. That is an option. But the fact that, well, I mean, they find Henny in the end. MBK dies to him as they try and save. And they're doing a pretty good job, although Happy somehow finds Showtime and just annihilates him.
How does that work?
Still, Envy, they're just quick on their feet right now. They're like, okay, op is in mid. Let's just go and say hi to B real quick, see if we can't catch them out.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
How could it be real? Happy just going for the completely insane spray in the smoke. Still works. I don't know. I actually feel like they should force this round, even though they don't have a lot. And that's what they're doing.
Oh, they have to. They have to try and get some rounds. 4 rounds on CT side.
Yeah.
14th round of this first half.
Then it just, I mean, if you're saving this round, it just becomes a question of whether or not you want to lose a little bit earlier or a little bit later. You know, if you get this round and make it 9-6, then maybe you buy yourself a chance to do some sort of ridiculous comeback. But we are getting into to sort of the very late stages of this first half here, and things are just not looking good right now for Tempo Storm. It's not that they've been playing horrendously, but Envy's, especially Envy's B take, has been so hard to stop.
Boop. Oh, okay, he gets a second try. Thought that he'd been dead for sure there, Henny, but he gets the second try. He actually lands the second shot, and Happy is gone. So Henny actually manages to pick up an AK to play with here. But this might be a bit of an alert going over here for Tempo Storm. They realize that it's going to be a B play once again. That Incendiary goes down, but they go charging right through it, Envy, and they spot the man holding bananas. That's Lucas doing damage, however, and Phelps right on the edge, and they just get completely collapsed in on themselves here, EnVyUs. Tempo Storm just crushed them out of the server. 4 AK saved, but more importantly, the 5th round picked up here for Tempo. going into the 15th round, EnVyUs, of course, have more than enough money to buy, but you're right. Now, maybe if they pick up the 6th round, they have a chance if they win the pistol in the second half, control the economy the way that EnVyUs has controlled theirs. Anything is possible, Anders.
It's a quick return on investment in that round. It really was. They're going to be excited about that. Once again, they need to get more than just a singular round here. Has to be a real follow-up. Happy going for some mad spray into the apartments. Nobody really occupying that at the moment. Instead, it's actually a 3-man stack over towards B, which is very unusual. This sort of call you only make if you have a sort of a good gut feeling. Henny and Showtime are playing A as a pair in pit, which is decent if they put 2 or more out of apartments. But if the majority of the force is going to be wrapping around either arch or quad, then that pit play is going to really backfire on them. And it's too soon to tell right now. I mean, given how many times EnVy have gone B, it's not impossible that this is. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad gamble here.
Well, this comes down to their resolve. And right now, Tempo Storm, the bomb is rotating into Banana, 50 seconds left. It makes you think that EnVy want to commit to this B site. And if Tempo Storm, they get caught out here, if EnVyUs eventually go B, and it looks like it might even be a split through CT, through Archway. Phelps going to get caught with a nade in his hand. He's pinned down behind the pillar, but he's going to be able to pick up one. Will eventually get run down by Apex, but the damage is done, and now they're going to be able to close in onto this B site. So it's all going to come down to the 2 remaining players here for Tempo Storm.
They can still go back. This is the thing. They don't have to full commit yet. Now, Tempo are trying to rotate out of the A-bomb side. I think EnVy are just waiting right now, seeing if they can hear anyone running in. Now, they are going to be rotating around here. Kenny's carrying the bomb. He's got to be careful now. It's getting a little bit too close for the clock here. 16 seconds on it. Lucas hiding in the corner. He gets found, and in the back line, bolts. He picks up Kenny. That's the bomb down 10 seconds. Henny lining him up, and he sprays him down, and it's all unhappy. There's no time here. Tempo Storm, they are going to be picking up the round. There's nothing they could do. Henny picking up a double kill at the end and making it 6-9. That rotation from A paying off so well. They weren't counting on the 3rd man being there. Bolts in the back line. He drops Kenny. That means suddenly everything is just being mistimed by EnVy.
It's just the clock. The clock beat EnVy in the end, because they would have waited around an extra 10 seconds in Banana for that rotation otherwise. But instead, it turns into them just getting sandwiched in, and that's perfect. Works out perfectly for Tempo. It just seems like EnVy weren't able to quite capitalize on the position they found themselves in once they actually managed to execute into Arch, into CT. Just nobody showing on Tempo Storm's side. So very well played here. But Tempo Storm, the job is just so far from done. They need to actually keep they need to keep themselves focused, dialed in. They pick up 2 rounds at the end of the half. Now they need to pick up the pistol. They need to get that chain going.
Yeah, they really... I mean, if they win the pistol round and don't run into one of those classic EnVy, anti-eco or forced pistol rounds there, then they could end up with the tied scoreline at 9-9, which is still a fairly uphill battle, but it could be done. It's definitely not over yet, but a lot will be decided. If EnVy win this pistol, it's hard to imagine a scenario in which they won't also be taking away the spot in the quarterfinals here. Kenny's setting up for a smoke that's going to land sort of in the middle of Banana there. Trying to see if they can make that work. I mean, MBK did spot out one person before that blooms, so tiny bit of information. But if they rush and kill MBK right now, it'd be beautiful timing.
He's just waiting to see if the nade's going to be coming through. He's hoping to get it lucky with a headshot. Obviously going for the usual spots that you would be trying to peek from if you're on the T side in Banana. Yeah, Tempo Storm, they're full gathered. One thing here for EnVy is that they are pushed up pretty close to mid, in apartments, top mid, so they could try and rotate around, but it's all on MBK now to find at least one headshot. And the smoke's going down. It's just going to be so brutal for him to hold back. He actually manages to fall back, though, so it will be that 5-on-5 retake here for EnVy. And now Kenny's just the one trying to find some random shots through the smoke.
They're giving them a taste of their own medicine right now. Those were the exact same smokes that made life so hard when they were on the CT side. Good battle coming out here. Phelps looking for the second shot. Actually, Henny going to be picking that one up. Still a 3-on-3. Bomb ticking away. They still have the kit in control on the enemy, which is a big thing when you're retaking from 2 different angles. Kenny very low here, and he's going to be going down. That's a kit drop by Coils, and Happy can't really do anything at this point. He's going to have to go back, pick up the kit, kill 3 people, and defuse. And you can already tell even the time it takes to say all of that, and the round is going to be over. Phelps ends up with a double. So does Henny. And that's a big win, obviously, as you could tell by the reaction from Tempo Storm there. Nice step in the right direction. EnVy, go for pistol, go for armor. This is what they used to be legendary for. I'd say their efficiency with this kind of buy has dropped off dramatically. But this used to be almost just you shrug at this point and just say they're probably going to win this round, aren't they?
Well, there was a time where we renamed their team LDCZ.
That's true.
So, I mean, yeah. I'm thinking Valve, you know, they're so on point, right? Stress relief, all of that, right? That the chickens on this map, they're clearly here just for like release of frustration. Because Happy, he runs in, kills the chicken, feels a little bit better, backs off, dies. You know, at that point he's like, okay, I can go now. It's all right. I did my thing.
Just get it out of your system.
Get it out of your system. Focus on this next round. NBK's already tagged down to half HP. And well, EnVyUs now, I mean, this is just the all or nothing approach for them because, well, I mean, Kenny's not going to be able to afford an AWP going into the next round. Neither is NBK, so I mean, all right, going into the next round, going into the first buy round, really, for EnVyUs. So they really need to have a big impact here. But again, it's 4 on A, just waiting to see if Tempo Storm are going to go knocking over on the pointy letter, but it's not looking like it. Instead, Tempo Storm, they've camped out in top banana. They've got control of it. They're just waiting for that smoke to clear, and then they're going to walk right in here and just completely run over NBK.
Look at Apex and Devil. They're walking up right behind them. Timing. Oh, is it really going to be off by that little? They're charging up behind them. Banana. If they'd waited 3 more seconds, they would have been flanked just as they put their grenades in. That seems like almost too ridiculous here. Envy, if they look at this demo again, that they're going to be killing themselves. That was crazy. But it'll be around for Tempo Storm, and now they've got a really good shot at equalizing the scoreline here.
Yeah, just locking everything down here for Tempo Storm. Bolts can stay on the MAC-10 to keep farming. He knows it's going to be a hard eco waiting for him. And that's just Tempo Storm, again, showing Envy that they can play that kind of brutal style as well, where you just group up and run in. Nothing you can do, even if you've got a stack going in, even if you've got multiple members, you know, just on point, on site, right, rotating in. The accurate call to make for EnVyUs, it doesn't matter because Tempo Storm, they just move as this death ball. Everybody watching everybody's backs, fair trades in the end. And well, once again, Tempo Storm moving straight onto Banana. This time, EnVyUs do have the stack, but they don't have the firepower. So NBK looking to find the headshot, and he's going to get nailed. Lucas just slams him off of the coils. Kenny, at back, he's at new boxes. He will actually pick up a kill in the end, but doesn't really have much of an impact as Happy does get spotted at top mid, and that's going to be Phelps ending the round pretty quickly. I think that Happy just donated himself. He's like, we're not going to draw this out. Go ahead, get rid of me. Let's go into the next round where it's pretty much all riding on the line here. If Tempo can actually pick this up in decisive fashion, this will be huge to start. I mean, this will be just huge for them to carry forward because at Envy, it'll be exactly what happened at Tempo in the first half.
Something delightful about the fact that those boxes are still called new boxes and forever will be called new boxes.
Always.
You know, 10 years down the line, new boxes. See a little bit of rifle buy coming out of Envy, obviously. Again, very light on the Molotovs, just the one on Devil there. And not a single defuse kit either. I would say it's a bit of a stretch, actually. Showtime close here, spraying through the frame of the door and almost picking off Apex. That would have been such a good start here. He's low on health, but it's not quite good enough. If they could get the bomb down, Tempo Storm, then lack of the defuse kit. Of course, we got the increased bomb timer, but still, it could definitely come back to haunt you. Lucas, looking for the opening. Devil is right there. Sprays and sees him once. Is he going to realize there's a trap going on? He could get the follow-up, and 1 grenade into apartments here or into the bedroom, and Apex would be gone.
That's what they're looking for. And there you go. Catches Apex looking the wrong way. Steps out Phelps, and he's losing his teammate, but Happy is going to be there to kind of restore order. Brings it back to a 3-on-3. And Tempo, they weren't fully committed to that. They still had the bomb in Banana with the second player there to back him up. That's Henny and Bolts making their way towards NBK, who's kind of dancing on the edge, not really sure where he wants to be. He's on CT at this point, not holding hard on the site. In case Tempo Storm go for the quick commit to the A side, he'll be able to rotate over. Instead, he's going to peek right into Henny's waiting arms, and that AWP goes to work, and now it all just falls apart here for Envy. Because Lucas is in position to catch the rotator out as well. Happy, will he expect it? He's got his knife out, just going to die. Smiling.
I mean, when Henny gets that pick off at MBK, that's just such a delicious feeling, isn't it? When you're trying to get into that bomb site. Kenny very low. He still gets both those kills, but it's planted out of the open. He can't even easily defuse it here. Picks up the AWP. He's already got the kills, but now he's looking for another one. He can't quite get it. Lucas still alive, and oh no! Kenny gonna be going down. That would have been an absolutely insane clutch, but Lucas gonna steal it away with a triple of his own, which is an incredibly important frag there. How does Kenny even get these 2 kills? Look how low he is. Henny, I wonder if he knew and if he had the time to to do anything about it. 10-9. They win the first critical round here, where Envy can buy in the response. It's 3 5-7s, and it's 2 C-75s, and armor on top of that. And this is where you gotta wonder, is this sort of a, you know, determined or focused buy coming out of Envy, or is this them starting to say, oh, you know, are we losing a little bit of concentration? Are we losing a bit of faith in what we're doing here?
No, because they keep going for the same strat. NBK alone on B, 4 players on A, tightly grouped up in apartments for Envy. I mean, this is what they keep doing. They keep hoping that Tempo Storm are finally going to commit to the A site and stop going towards B. So it's turned into that game of chicken. Who's going to crack first? Who's going to change up their strategy first? And Envy, they don't want to be the first one to flinch, right? They want to be the ones who are just there, ready and waiting for Tempo to walk into their trap. But once again, Tempo, they're just like, we keep having success on B site, so why are we going to change up? And especially on a round where we know that you're going to be having pistols. It is
C said, though, and I mean, you could get a lot of kills. Not quite as crazy as it used to be, but triples are definitely possible. NBK hiding in the corner. He's also got Kenny rotating in, who has the other C-75. Tempo have got to be careful. And once again, they are being flanked right now. They got, obviously, Henny checking from behind, and he's going to see it coming. So now, also, Tempo know that they've been found out. They realize that this is probably going to be a bit of a sandwich situation. Devil hiding down in underpass, going to be coming up with the 5-7 in hand, shooting them in the back. He's going to get the 1 kill in, but Phelps there to rescue the situation, and now on the A bomb side. 20 seconds left here. Happy, if there was just a bit less time, he could definitely ruin this round for them, but it's going to be hard to kill them and buy enough time. He gets the 1, he gets both. Oh no, it might be happening. Phelps, he's all alone in the 1-on-2. 10 seconds. Happy, he may have just done it, but Phelps shutting him down. 7 seconds, goes for the bomb plant here, and Kenny charging through. He's on the other side, but he's 1 bullet away from death, and Phelps, he's got the AK in hand. Flashbang coming up. Kenny's right there. He turns around for the, there's that shot coming out. Phelps gets the triple. Again, he saves the round, and Tempo Storm way too close. They will make it through. I thought Happy had just pulled off one of the most sneaky plays we've seen so far. Look at this. There's still 15 seconds. That should be enough time in what's practically a 1v3 over there, but that's incredible. They think that they've just pulled the fast one, right? The wool over EnVyUs' eyes completely. Tempo at that point. When they kill off Devil, there's like, there can't be anybody left on this A site. They're already looking towards the rotation coming in from Library, from Arch. And yeah, that comes back to bite them in the end as Happy. I mean, Happy, usually he is really slow to rotate, right? He's usually just all the way out on the extremity. This time it actually works out for him. He's sitting in the perfect place to have a high impact, but in the end, it will be Tempo Storm picking it up, 11-9, and EnVyUs now. They've got the rifles. They've got a good nade count going. They've changed it up. They've actually gone away. They've actually gone away from that from the A stack setup, and so this is Envy actually being the first team to kind of change up how they've been holding. Tempo Storm managed to take over apartments for free. And with a minute left on this clock now, Tempo Storm, are they going to just continue going towards B? Henny again just kind of posted. I'm wondering now. If Happy's going to stay here, I'm wondering if the smoke you threw the first time around was to try and fake out the fact that there might only be one person here. Because he's sort of signaled that a lot. I'm wondering if it goes that deep. I'm going to have to ask him later about that. Flashbang goes out, and right on the other side, Tempo Storm are ready and waiting. See if 2 can hold them this time, Samla. Push begins, and already Happy in position. And that's just a standard spray going right through the smoke. Phelps takes all the bullets to the face. NBK caught out in the open, though, and he's going to get punished by bolts. And so now Tempo Storm, they have the edge. Showtime catches out Happy, but no fear coming in from Apex. He gets the double spray. They're stacked in pit, and he takes advantage of it. Kenny and Devil now the last 2 alive. There's just so little HP and so little time left on the clock for Tempo. He hits the perfect timing, just like Happy in the last round. One guy watching towards CT, one guy planting the bomb. It couldn't have been better there for Kenny. Yeah, even with the bunny jump coming out of construction, that was pretty cool. Apex again, just complete tank, just barreling through there. 11-10 as Envy finally make up a round. You're right, though. He does. It's just he's got this brutal, like this air of brutality around him, right? Like he's just like, I'm gonna mow right through you. The Juggernaut. All these kills just been like, boom. Yeah, it's kind of impressive. It definitely is. Have they double stacked fountains? The 2 people there? I can't tell. No, all right. I thought maybe someone was up on top of the fountain, but that's going to happen. Again, 2-man stack going into the bomb site here. Happy going for the early spray. It's Tech-9 and some limited armor on the other side. But there is a little bit here, and MBK reduced to a pistol. Hasn't had time to reload. Still doing a very good job. finally going to end up falling down, and Showtime picking up his rifle. And no bomb plant yet, and look how quick Kenny's here, just spraying them down as they happen to line up for him. That's going to tie the scoreline the other way and make it 11-11 here. So definitely not done yet. We did a quick technical timeout here as someone from Tempo Storm did disconnect, but they were already dead, I'm sure, so should be all right.
It shouldn't be the end of the world. Yeah, it's just a technical pause.
The point that I wanted to make is normally, if you have 2 people in B, then either one of those 2 could start putting up smokes at any given time. But if you're waiting outside Banana, you could sort of hear that they're doing that. You could hear that they're throwing it from close. If you throw it in from some CT spawn, which was Happy did, that normally means you're sort of throwing it and then you're probably holding archway instead, and you're ready to fall back if you need to. But Happy actually threw it and then fell back to B anyway. So if someone from outside of Banana sees that and thinks, all right, I saw where that smoke came from, so probably there's only going to be one person in there, like there's been almost every other time, right? It's only been NBK, and so I'm wondering if Happy is like crazy enough that he signaled the smoke to be there, then went back, put up the Molotov, and you know, they did push into 2 people. I'm gonna have to ask him about that later on. See, this is not quite the smoke he threw, but obviously this is early on. But still, you throw that smoke, you run the other way, and again, they leave NBK alone over here. Not because they don't like him, because they trust him to take care of business.
That's a high level of trust, right? We're going to leave you over here just like Neo VP, you know, these sorts of players. And, well, the peak is going to come through. NBK, he spots the shoulder. Incendiary goes down, but they aren't wasting any time, actually. Tempo Storm, just the 3 players edging along. Phelps nearly gets picked off, but Lucas is caught out Apex. That's over on the A side. Instead here on B, that's not a perfect smoke. And so Tempo Storm, they're not able to actually commit past CT. Where's the other smoke? Phelps, you just donated the other smoke. Now your teammates actually have to get the job done the hard way.
Hey, you almost caught NBK with a grenade in hand. That was practically genius, but you know, sometimes a thin line, isn't there? Showtime picking up an AK here, and if you control the rotation coming in from one side, this might actually work out. You're right, they are out of smokes, so it makes life a little bit tricky. They should be able to get the bomb plant down here. Envy, they've been great on the retakes, and they are going to need to do it one more time here. They can't let Tempo Storm back into the game already. 2 AKs and a Galil and a little bit of a flashbang here, but Envy, they're already very slow right now. The bomb is not down yet, obviously, but finally it happens, and Devil is coming in from Banana, so he might be instrumental here. Flash goes out, and they spot at least 1 guy in CT spawn, but Devil, he's so slow coming up. Now he's making a lot of noise here. NBK going down. He has to win this fight, but the Max 7 is just not the weapon for it, and Tempo Storm, they might actually be able to do this. Kenny smokes himself off there. There are 2 people out looking for the shot with the AWP. Happy takes down 1 now. Both the Tempo members unable to actually see the bomb right now. They're up on top of the card, spraying through. Kenny losing his teammate, and no defuse is happening. He's going to go for it again, but they just run him down. Showtime coming up with a triple kill, and that will be 12-11. And the reset, I mean, if this was the classic Envy, which we're not quite saying it is, but if it was, they'd absolutely buy this round.
Yes, they would, exactly. They would fully commit to it. They wouldn't waste any time at all. Straight force right back into it, not allow Tempo Storm to actually get any kind of momentum going. But instead, EnVyUs, they're actually showing that they're willing to trust in their CT hold, and they're actually willing to wait for the rifles. So just a quasi-buy coming, well, I mean, this is pretty much an eco coming out here. Pistols, a little bit of Kevlar picked up, but that's the extent of it all. It's just way, way too close between both of these teams at this point. Tempo Storm doing a fantastic job once again of controlling the economy for Envy. And this is just going to keep that pressure ratcheted up on the Frenchman. Whereas now for Tempo Storm, they just going to get to sit back. They're a little low on the utility, but still default hold for them across the board, just waiting to see where EnVyUs are going to try and make the play happen.
I mean, so far they've had a good read. They've certainly identified that solo play from MBK that you've been pointing out a couple of times. They have a good feeling for how that works right now. They've had some pretty good entries over there. Question is, you know, if you're obviously tempted to keep doing that, but eventually it will be Envy making the change, and then you might run right into some mean setup. If you change too soon, could go the other way. So gonna try and make it work. Great job from Apex. He's still got more bullets. Oh no, it's a triple kill. All headshots. Showing to perfection the power of that 5-7, and now inside the bomb site, Happy there, taking down 1. Lucas now alone to try and make up for the wreckage that Apex has left behind here. 30 seconds, they are on either side of the bomb site. He's gonna have to get this plant down quick, otherwise, if he leaves this down to, you know, 12 seconds, then they can just use the time against him. He'll never get that bomb down, so it has to be now. 19 seconds, he goes for it, and EnVy actually keeping their distance, I think, more than they should have. They should have been closer to actually force that away from him. Now he's up on top of the box, looking for the shot. He gets one. Lucas going for all he sprays, almost getting it here. What an incredible clutch he's going for. Triple, and he sprays it down for the quad. Lucas managing to save the round. Tempo Storm making it to 13-11. All of these rounds, Semler, they're all so intense.
I don't even know what to think anymore, man. Apex, it's just huge individual performances for both teams. Apex up close to the 5-7. That should have never happened. He gets one and done. He should get traded immediately. But then Lucas to come out here for the clutch to save it all. MBK, I mean, I was about to praise Envy. They didn't decide to split. They decided to go together. And when you go together like that in the retake, you lose one, the other guy trades, and there you go. You get the defuse, and it all works out happy ever after, right? No, Lucas is there to ruin your day completely with a very clever position. Just manages to get the headshot in and then turns it into that 1v1 that he was hoping for. Just a thing of beauty here for Tempo Storm. They're right on the edge now. 13 rounds on the board, 11 for EnVy, and EnVy are the ones with the rifles. Both teams fully bought. But EnVy now, they're the ones, I mean, they've kind of gone back to the default, the catch-all approach here. Just spread out, although they are rotating that extra man over towards the A site now. That's Happy, but he's kind of hesitating. He's not sure if he needs to be there quite yet. They don't really have any info to go off of because Apex, he hasn't spotted anybody at Arch. And Kenny, he's waiting, but there we go. They line up, and it's a double headshot for Kenny. Just completely shuts it down. Apex, he wants a piece of the action as well, and Kenny's even going to go for confirmation. He picks up another kill.
Wow, what a way to start a round, but they're actually trying to bring it back here. Happy finally putting an end to that. We're taking out bolts, leaving Showtime alone, trapped in the pit. The bomb is over by Archway, so they don't even need to do anything other than wait for him. But what a triple kill from Kenny. That was just way too fast. And Showtime flashed and killed by NBK. So 13-12 is not over yet, but the money for Tempo Storm is just not there now. How much do they want to risk in this round?
That's just heartbreaking, though. If you're Tempo Storm, one of those was a wallbang headshot. Just nothing but headshots there for Kenny. But I mean, Tempo Storm, this is what's dangerous about showing so much emotion like that, though. Gotta love the hype, no doubt about it. But they're just on this roller coaster of emotions right now, adrenaline. Like, they win a huge round, they all go crazy, they just get annihilated in the next round. Now they're gonna be at the bottom of the pit.
And this was a round where you could tell they thought now is where we change the sort of the tempo, we change the rhythm of the game. We go Archway, you know, push in two people quick and hope that EnVy are not ready for it and
cowering in fear.
Yeah, you know, or that this was the round where EnVy decided to select three people, Banana, which you can do now. It used to be a very common thing. Haven't really seen EnVy do it here, but a lot of people would put three people early Banana and then eventually rotate the two people back. And if they hit Archway like that in a round like that, it's perfect, but does not turn out that way. 13-12. It's very hard to win an armorless pistol round here when you're playing on the terror side of Inferno.
Just feels like, you know, again, star power is having such an impact here for EnVy and for Tempo both. Like Henny, EnVyUs, both of them just like, or Henny and obviously an Apex. Both of them just going ham right now for both of these teams. But I mean, you still need some consistency. You need some kind of level here. Tempo Storm, they need to hit that if they want to close this out and keep their hopes alive here in this tournament, because now EnVy are the ones who have the edge. Apex does get headshot down earlier on, but again, it's MBK all by his lonesome here on the B site, and he's getting wrapped. He's going to get sandwiched here if he's not quick. He needs to find one kill, and the rotation coming through from his mate, so it's all about him staying alive. But Bolts will catch him looking the wrong way, and Phelps takes out Happy. That's the rotator down, and it's all on Apex now. He's leading the charge, along with Kenny, straight onto this B site.
Oh, God. Well, that's a beautiful Molotov in the back line. He actually forces them out here. Kenny out in the open. He gets one. Could get a little bit more, but he's down to 4 health. I have no idea what this round is from EnVy, but it's definitely not pretty. They are trying to get back into it, and it's a 1-on-3 with Showtime coming up from behind. Apex clearing out that round, and EnVy will win it. That was just a very, very clumsy and weird round from EnVy.
That was all over the place. Apex, that presence of mind to watch behind so that the backstab can't come in like that.
I mean, that's good news, but at that point, the round is officially done. But how on earth did they lose the 2 entries to people with just pistols and no armor? That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous lapse in the defense. It shouldn't even ever be that close.
Yeah, that's again just Tempo Storm saying if you're gonna have 4 guys on A, you know, maybe they're picking up on it, but I think it's more like Tempo Storm just like, well, we're having success on B, just keep going B, keep going B, keep going B. And once again, EnVy, that's a painful nade to take to the face. That's how you change it up. That nade you throw from the back of the site, and so it goes straight down to the bottom of banana. So if terrorists, sometimes you often see these CT side, they run into top banana and bank the nades off the walls to go into the columns there along the side of banana. That nade is in case the terrorists are like, hey, you know, let them throw their nades in, we'll wait out of range, it'll be perfect. You throw that nade from the back of the site and it just, boom, goes off right in their faces. So a nice little variety there shown on the CT side. Just keeping Tempo Storm guessing.
Apex not respecting the smoke there, setting up for what's a very cool pop flash. Gonna go for the peek, not quite catching anyone there. Flash did work, but Kenny with the follow-up, and now they're gonna fall back. Phelps is down, Showtime is to follow. Envy looking to deny this map as well, spraying furiously his Apex, but he will be taken out by Lucas, but look how low they all are. They're a man down as well. It's Tempo Storm losing that mid-fight early on.
Yeah, making noise. They continue to try and make noise over here on A site, but Envy, are they going to catch on? Are they going to start realizing that the action is going to be over towards B? Again, it's NBK alone. He's got an M4 and he has an incendiary. 30 seconds left, so he's going to have to start deciding when he actually wants to throw that out. It seems like he's waiting for the shoulder peek, but no, okay, finally commits it as soon as the smoke goes off, or goes out, clears out, right? Gets blown away by the wind. Boom, the flames go down, and now look at this Tempo Storm. They have 15 seconds left to get onto this site and get the bomb plant. And the rotator's in here as well. Happy just goes charging in. He goes right into Lucas, and Henny hits the headshot as well. Somehow, both kills, the key kills that need to happen for Tempo to have a chance. EnVyUs just donate them.
I don't even know what I'm watching at this point. There was 6 seconds when that bomb went down. If on coils they had just waited, then they wouldn't even have been able to put the bomb down. Envy are making some really silly mistakes right now. Kenny goes down to Lucas as well. Envy, this is a round you just want to straight forget. Get a Q-tip, put it in your ear, far enough in that it just erases from your memory, because this is just absurd levels of failure here. Devil is going to be the last man just running away, obviously, nothing you could do. I mean, when there's that little time left, if you just fall back behind coils and they have to spend another 2 seconds to look for you, the round is done. They can't do anything about it.
What in the hell is going on as well? Now, what is this nasty situation for Envy? Do they go for overtime? NBK's on $1,400. Devil could drop him the AK, but then that means the Devil has a horrible buy. I mean, of course they're going to go for the force, it looks like. I mean, just pure EnVyUs fashion, fully commit to it. Force buy across the board. Yeah. 3 rifles, 2 pistols, handful of nades to work with, and this is it.
Yeah, I don't actually. I think this force buy is reasonable, and I can understand why they don't want to play for overtime at this point. So just ease it out here. It's not impossible. I mean, on the other hand, if they win this round, they probably put themselves to match point here. Tempo Storm don't have a lot of money either. They do have the double stack going on over here in a bit of a different position from NBK. He is up on the box and he's got the 5-7, and we saw how much Apex made use of that. On the other side, it's Happy with another 5-7. It's just 2 pistols holding this bomb side. I mean,
Happy's got the flash, though.
They're good pistols, but they're not that good. And
he's got the existence flash locked and ready.
And these Molotovs as well could really make life hard if it lands up on the box there. Looks like it's not quite. NBK still up there, raining down fire all around him.
Oh, and he does find the headshot. 1 picked up, 2 for NBK, 3 for Happy, and this could be it. They do manage to turn it around. Envy, somehow, some way, Tempo Storm just walked right into the blender, and Envy, it's a perfect hold. And I can see you just like, yeah, Anders, you're shaking your head. How does this even happen? I mean, okay, NBK won, then gets the random headshot through the smoke, flashed as well.
Just
the
hard.
Flash.
It's hard to. Yeah, I mean that was definitely part of it, but also that position up there. I mean, it's just sort of a full collapse on the Tempo Storm side, and maybe also backed up by the fact that they have been doing that for quite a while now. They in turn force up on the other side with Tech9 and Armor. They go for a quick pop flash into middle. Looks like they're going to play this round aggressively. Apex is there spraying it down and getting Phelps killed, followed up by Kenny, and they're being just ground out here by Quad. Just Henny left in a 1-on-5, and Envy are going to be at match at that point just like that. They flip it around right at the end, going for a force up, and just 2 rounds in a row here that are completely flawless for the Envy team. Not a single Frenchman dying.
And that's the complete and utter collapse of Tempo Storm at this point. What are they going to try and do? They've gone B, they got annihilated, they go A, they just get completely crushed. And now, well, they go for a force buy again, full tech 9s again. And, well, it just seems like they want to go back towards B. Top banana, that's where they're going to be heading. And while Happy decides to go for the peak, they do put the smoke down before Car. But you can have a decent pop flash that goes through, and Happy might be in for a bit of a sad time, but it looks like Phelps just decides to push without anything there to help him, and he gets I mean, obviously punished. Nerves starting to show on Tempo Storm's side, trying to show things, I mean, just trying to make things happen, trying to force them. And, well, when EnVyUs are fired up like this, they're just not going to allow you to take those risks.
They need one of these rounds that Envy have sort of almost given them 2 off. They did give them 1, but there was another one that was just a shaky that they should have probably lost here. They need a little bit of a mistake on Envy's side and just some really, really clean entries. They do have the flashbangs, including a smoke and a Molotov, so it's definitely possible for them to make an impact on this bomb site. But if you look at the minimap, Apex is inching closer towards the archway as well. He's got just a bit of a spider sense tingling that something might be going up. There's the Molotov coming out. Happy going for the early fight, takes down Bolt. It is not looking good. It's now 5 versus 2. Henny and Lucas are left, and even if he's out of bullets, Happy's finally going to be going down. It's just actually being turned around a little bit here. Henny goes down, all on Lucas, trapped in yellow in a 1-on-3. Envy have come very far, and now there's a single kill away, and there it happens. Kenny going to be taking it out. It's Envy in the quarterfinals of DreamHack Masters in Malmö. 16-14 win on Inferno. What a match it was.
A 2-0 win for Envy. A team that expects nothing. They came into this expecting nothing, and in the end, they actually pick up the 2-0 win over Tempo Storm, the favorite team in this matchup. For once for Tempo, you just had to say it, that they looked better coming into this match. But when Envy, they're not expecting to get anything out of this. They're coming into this, they're like, we're going to play for fun. We're going to have a good time. You know, we're making changes, obviously, after this tournament. We expect nothing from ourselves this tournament. Well, there you go. They actually managed to survive, and they will be playing in the arena now this weekend.
They've been suffering some upsetting defeats lately, and that might have
Going
sort of
out last place 3 times in a row.
3, 4, 4, 5,
3, 4. Basically,
sort of a bingo of failure going on. No, but really, it's been, man, I think that's added to the pressure. You know, they've been expecting more and more from themselves. I don't know what's happening, yeah, maybe just letting go. Like I said, I talked to MBK earlier, and he did say, you know, we're just trying to sort of, you know, play a way that feels good here, and then leave all the structural changes to after the tournament, right? See what happens there. If we can switch some roles around and maybe get some people playing a different way. Certainly an impressive performance from them. And we will hear from NBK and Smix, so please take it away.
Thank you very much, Anders. First of all, NBK, congratulations, you're moving on to the quarterfinals. I feel like this is especially momentous because today we've seen Luminosity, Astralis, both top 4 teams not make it to the quarterfinals, but you guys, whom a lot of people have been, they've had their skepticism, you guys are going to the quarterfinals, so initial thoughts?
Yeah, it's great. It's been a few months. We just struggled a lot, especially facing Tempo. We lost them in Katowice. We lost them earlier in a tournament, and yeah, just relieved to finally perform at a gold level, and yeah, at the moment it feels great.
All right, let's talk about Dust 2. This map is not known to be a great map for you guys. In fact, you've only played it twice this year and lost both times, and it was actually Tempo Storm's choice, and yet Apex just went absolutely crazy on this map, and things went in your favor. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Apex had a very good game, and that will always be our goal, to just grind on the city side. So we managed to get 7 rounds, a bit scrappy, but like it was good enough for us. And then we were just counting on our T side. We lack of practice on the map, but yeah, we feel confident when we are hitting our shots because we all feel very comfortable on this map. We all played it like for years and years, like in the teams, in the majors, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a map that we enjoy no matter what. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know what happened, but we're good, I guess, and we had good team play. And our T side, we just broke their economy several times, and that just made the whole difference. And yeah, winning both pistols as well.
Yeah, it is specific questions about both maps, actually. On Dust 2, on the first gun round, when Tempo Storm went for the Fast Beast, but you guys seemed actually pretty prepared for that, not caught off guard at all. And similarly, in the second map on Inferno, when in the first pistol round, again, like you guys did not seem caught off guard with what they came at you with. So in terms of that, was that just a lucky guess, or did you guys actually study their VODs?
Well, either Happy as a mastermind or it was just lucky. I mean, there is no in between, but we are not a team known to hard counter our opponents. So yeah, we just played our game, and yeah, they just went into our defenses most of the time, and yeah, we just played quite good and with good team play, and that's something we lacked for a long time, and it felt good to play well again.
And as I mentioned earlier, today has just been a crazy day of results. We saw Tyloo have a huge upset over Luminosity. We saw Astralis being knocked out. I mean, it's just been insane. What are your personal thoughts on everything that's been happening at this tournament, and what sorts of expectations are you have moving forward with all the craziness?
Yeah, I mean, it's true that it's just unbelievable what happened. When I woke up this morning, I was like, wait, what? They already took a map off Luminosity, and then they went on winning the best of 3. So it's a great thing, first of all, that Tyloo won, in my opinion, because it shows that the Chinese scene has a lot of talent and they're ready to come into the big play and big games. And yeah, I kind of side for Luminosity because I'm always cheering for them. But all the upsets are, let's say, it makes for a good tournament to watch, because on the long term, those teams are probably going to be winning most of the times and passing the groups. And yeah, upsets happen. It's after the major, and that's the time where those teams that are working hard and sometimes not being in the major can just show up and show their value. And you have it in many forms. Tyloo, Tempo Storm are just like, they play extremely good. Tyloo as well. And NIP that just came back now playing at the major with Threat, and now they play with a full roster and they upset Luminosity. So sorry, Astralis. So it's great to see that, because it shows that the scene, you can never slow down. You can never stop grinding, practicing, otherwise people are just going to catch up. And it's a great reminder for everyone just to watch the tournament.
Yeah, definitely no room for complacency. But thank you very much, MPK. Congratulations on, again, moving on to the quarterfinals. It's been such a crazy day of action here at DreamHack Masters Malmö. Machine, let me know your thoughts.
Not just my thoughts, Smix, but fortunately we've got a split desk, as always, with our predictions. We saw Yanko put his faith in the boys from France.
No, we were sleeping on EnVyUs, so...
You were sleeping on EnVyUs,
We got the wake-up call on Dust 2, and ever since then, we've seen that Yanko was right.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Moses, you've got,
was
like...
alive.
We've actually got a Weatherman segment with Moses. He's going to go and break down the entirety of the first map.
I can't wait for that.
Wreck it.
Yeah, you ready for that?
Yeah, I can't wait
Maybe
for that.
not.
I'm literally attached to the desk, though. That's going to be a struggle.
Unfortunately, we have got him attached to the desk. But we're going to go ahead and try and break this one down, gentlemen. We've got to try and understand where things went wrong for Tempo Storm. A team, you know, we actually discussed whether or not they were going to live up to this kind of the community's feeling about this hype, that they were going to be very exciting in 2016. Do you want not quite seen it just yet.
Do you want a shocking opinion?
Oh, go, Duncan. You've never had any of them.
Nothing went wrong for Tempo Storm. Yeah. I mean, the first map, Dust 2, they should have won. I mean, I always say you can't really use that term, but I mean should as in, if you play that map out 10 times in a row, I'm pretty sure Apex doesn't go absolutely mental like that each time. And as a result, a lot of those times they'd be winning, like what, 7, 8 of those. So they would have had Dust 2. Inferno, like I said, they would have been playing with house money there. They came close to winning it here. It took a lot of very, very good individual plays and crazy, actually risky plays from the guys from EnVyUs to win it. So this actually could have been a 2-0 for Tempo Storm. That's what's so crazy about it. And they got 0 maps.
It's the running theme for both teams, actually. Like, we saw crazy stuff from Lucas, Henny. It does feel like individual plays is going to be the focus of our analysis here. It didn't feel like we've got, you know, abundance of strategy. It was more just lots of individuals from either side making that game as close as it was.
I wouldn't say necessarily so that there wasn't an abundance of strategy. I would say that this was basically vintage EnVyUs, especially on the first map that we saw. On the second, it got kind of weird towards the end, I have to say. But well, here we have the statistics as well, and so you can see Bolts was actually the player who was performing, who had the most kills on the Tempo Storm side. But as I said, with Apex, what's the thing that Dust 2, yes, it was supposed to maybe be a Tempo Storm map, but with the talent they have, especially in Apex and the style of his play, when he goes off, he can take over the game. And that's basically what happened for the good part of Dust 2. Also, Kenny wasn't like performing, you know, over the top or anything, but he was doing his job, doing his part.
A very solid rifling as well.
Exactly. He didn't even touch on it, but on Inferno he didn't even pick up the op, and I think it was not probably, it wasn't even him maybe not feeling comfortable. I think it was more of a maybe team decision, you know, to play with the rifle, to be able to rotate quicker and get those trade kills as well. And the T side from EnVyUs on Dust 2 was also pretty good. You could see them going as a unit, going for those revenge kill trade frags. And I have to point out Happy, in a couple of those rounds, his lurking was what won him the rounds, being a bit more aggressive, going through double doors and getting kills on the CT players that were in CT spawn as well.
Now, Jason, we haven't quite heard from you just yet.
Yeah, I mean, Envy played that very, very loose. I mean, you could tell, we did say that the one big advantage they had was that their individual players, one of them going off was just going to seal the deal for this. And it was Apex on Dust 2. But they did just kind of play very much looser than we've seen them recently. It very much seemed like the whole cornered animal thing where they were just backs against the wall. They had really no options left to them. That Kenny Op thing is actually kind of funny because last night talking to NBK when he said that they were going to be making some changes in terms of roles, in terms of style, he actually said that they're going to take the Op out of Kenny's hands at times. And I actually thought he was joking at the time. I just kind of laughed about it. I was like, okay. Sure thing, NVK. And then we saw it here, and it was actually it was okay from Kenny. It was pretty decent. We've seen his rifles in the past be okay, but just normally his ops just been so incredible. You never do that, but works out here.
Especially because, you know, historically, CT Inferno, Kenny rocks the AWP and plays it incredibly well. Yeah. We saw the roles shift, and actually a lot of his retakes onto B were very refreshing. It was good to see what he could do. He's
actually particularly good in switching his positions all the time. He goes aggressive A apps, then goes mid, and sometimes they switch him even towards B, which makes it really efficient because the Ts constantly have to keep guessing where he's going to be the next round. But as Duncan pointed out, he was really proficient with the rifle as well on the CT side in rotations. Had a kind of weak T side on Inferno, but had a pretty good CT side.
The man of the match, obviously, those Apex. Like, that stat line there, sure, it wasn't all on the T side, because a lot of it was on CT side on Inferno, but that was reminiscent of the series earlier in the year, where they played at Star Ladder, and they only finished top 4 there, which back then used to be a bad result for them, but obviously now it would be like a dream result. And they managed to beat Fnatic, actually, in the series there. One of the few series that Fnatic lost, and he had 50 kills in that one and went completely off. So it doesn't happen that often. That's the thing. That's why you feel sorry if you're the Tempo Storm guys, but when it does, it can change an entire game.
I think August referred to Apex there as a bit of a bulldozer. Just it does have that kind of, no matter what, his style of play is so kind of aggressive, no matter what, no matter which side he's on. And Yanka, you've got some plays for us to take a look at, so I'll let you go do your thing. He's got even better at this work. He's got like a kind of power model.
Actually, he's going to be Apex. He's going to be the focus of our first replay. We're going to start off with Dust 2. It will be the first gun round, and to point out what Tempo Storm tried to do, it was a fast B split. And you see the idea behind it is that a lot of CTs early on in the round have 3 players like EnVyUs have here towards long to secure long control, and they have 2 players in the B site mostly to, you know, get maybe Kenny with the op in that sniper position here so Apex can throw a smoke for him. But what's different here is you can see Apex from the beginning of the round is behind the smoke with the rifle, and Kenny is towards the B site with the AWP. And the thought process, as I said, for Tempo Storm is that they are going to run in mid while both of the players are focused towards the B bomb site. Now we can play it out how it feels in this particular situation. Tempo Storm just gets completely crushed because, as you see, it's hard for them to check this corner. There's a smoke there as well. Apex gets 2 kills, Kenny gets some great kills, and it's a flawless round for EnVyUs, the first gun round, which allows them to get a good economy going. They had a couple of really good rounds after this. Fortunately, they did lose an anti-eco round at some point, and the half didn't maybe end as good for them as it might have been. So now moving on to the next replay, we're moving on to Inferno, and this was, you see that the score is 11-11, so it's really close. And there has been, this round was pretty weird because 3 players of Tempo Storm were towards Banana. They managed to get entry into the bomb site. MBK was alone there. They had 2 players towards A in apps and in mid, and they did manage to get a kill there on Apex. But now they have entry into the bomb site. Devil is here. They were pretty slow on the rotate because they were afraid of the player in second mid. And you can see here the Devil has a mag 7. Now, this is a problem for him. I dislike that he went for the rotation through Banana because it can get pretty long range. And NBK as well is pretty low HP. So in my opinion, he should have rotated through CT spawn with all of his teammates. Now we can play it out, so you will see exactly what happened in this round is that he does go Banana and can't really capitalize on it. Fortunately, he gives good information to his teammates. And then another weird decision is that when it's actually a 2v2, Happy with the rifle is defusing and Kenny is holding an angle with the AWP. Maybe if it was the other way around, they could have won the round. But we had a lot of these close rounds, and we have one last replay. it's another round which was similar to the Astralis NIP when Astralis had an early advantage. And the same thing happened in this round. You can see, you can't really see, yeah, you can see that there were 2 kills for EnVyUs, and now they're in a 5v3 situation. But Apex is still close to mid, and instead of just falling back and playing it safe, playing for information and so on, he's actually continuing to challenge. We can play it, the replay now for a bit. He will get punished here for it. Now still, EnVyUs have an advantage. We can pause here. So EnVyUs still have an advantage, but it's important. Look, there's 14 seconds left. The score is 13-13, so it's a really close game. They're 4v3. Happy had a flash. It's just going on here. But what they should have, and you can see MBK on coils. So what they should have gone for here is they should have just played it more safe. Happy didn't have to flash himself in. Basically, he could have just sprayed through the smoke. MBK could have done something similar. Apex probably called that one of the players at least is low. We can see that 2 players are low on Tempo Storm side, but you should just buy time for your team to come in and to rotate and play the numbers, because what they did here, both, I mean, it's probably a mistake of both players' part. We can play it out now. They both decided to challenge. Happy getting killed trying to run through CT spawn, MBK with a wild spray that didn't connect, and you can see by the time they plant the bomb, it's only 3 seconds left for Tempo Storm players. This was actually, you know, I thought that they actually lost the game here, but just real quick, what happened in the round after that, which a lot of people were, you know, complaining, why did Tempo Storm run through the smoke here with 5 people alive and MBK was close on this box and Happy was close spawn. The problem is the Tempo Storm had all 5 players in Banana, so they didn't have any map control anywhere else, and when the smoke fell through, they were afraid that they're gonna get flanked by the CTs in the back, which happened in the round previously, so they were kind of felt forced to run through the smoke. They ran into the blender, so to speak. MBK and Happy just mowed over them, and it was in the end what decided the match and gave the victory to EnVyUs.
Yes, indeed. 2-0 for EnVy. They managed to pick that one up. Thanks very much, Janko, as always. Your catwalk strut is getting better and better. You're getting closer and closer to perfection.
I just
need to keep myself from falling over like Semler did.
Oh, God, I nearly forgot about that.
If I can nail that, I'm good.
Yeah, okay, so far so good. You have managed to evade the Semler trip. But we are going to go ahead and kind of leave things there regarding the EnVy game. I mean, picking up 2-0, Janko's done a fantastic job of breaking that down. So instead, we're just going to go ahead and recap what you may have missed, as well as making the all-important announcement of who is going to be playing who. So, Group A, you can see how things did go down. Never forgetting that incredibly surprising result with Tyloo. Oh, absolutely insane. A best-of-3 victory for a Chinese team is something that we will not be forgetting in a hurry. History definitely being written here at DreamHack Masters Malmö. Group B, we had an opportunity to see a little bit more from, there it is, CLG and Godsent 2 for the Swedes. Again, this is where the Destro start continued to be humiliated, as CLG, definitely the favourites going into that matchup, were surprised by, well, the home team, Godsent. The Swedes will have an opportunity to play in the Malmö Arena. Group C, moving into that one, we get to see Astralis. Well, we don't get to see them tomorrow, but we did get to see them doing their very best versus NIP, and their families are unfortunately not going to be able to witness them performing in that live Swedish crowd. Instead, NIP will, though, be bringing the noise, raising the roof. Group D, we see Tempo and EnVy. And if you did just join us, I'm afraid you're a little late for it live. The VODs, however, will of course be available, but the French side still showing they have some life and some air in their lungs as they pick that one up. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is the playoff bracket. It has been drawn just a few seconds prior to this graphic coming up on your screens, and you can see it right here, right now. Navi Tyloo, Dig EnVy, Mouse, Godsent, NIP, VP. I'm just going to throw this quickly to the walls, to you guys, just to kind of get your initial thoughts.
Well, we're going to have an absolutely shocking finalist from the bottom half of the draw there, because none of those teams would have been expected to be playing in the final. I mean, imagine if Virtus Pro's there, they're supposed to be in a slam, NIP, it's the first event back with Peeth. Obviously, one of Godsent and Mouse is going to be making top 4. That would be a pretty bold prediction if you've been coming into the tournament. The top half of the bracket's pretty stacked, though, especially when you have to remember, so everyone who's only been watching the games on stream, Guardian will be here for Navi. Yeah. So that's a pretty stacked top half, but unfortunately, I think the Tyloo Cinderella story ends in the arena.
Imagine if it's not, though.
I do too, but I think it could be interesting if Guardian comes back and he's not at full strength for whatever reason. That could get interesting. I mean, we can't count him out after that play against Luminosity, and you know, I mean, just by the interview with Smix earlier, talking about how that coach is just staying up all night watching all these demos, preparing tactics. I mean, it's still a long shot, but it was against Luminosity as well, so I think that could actually be pretty interesting to see how far Tyloo can take this kind of magical run a little bit.
I mean, yeah, you've just beat the major champions in a best of 3. Who's to say you can't do it?
I mean, that's going to be a really exciting match just to watch the team that upset the champions.
Keep that one in. Just quickly from you, Janko, before we go.
I mean, for me, honestly, before this tournament started, Astralis and NIP, because Navi wasn't supposed to play with Guardian, were the 2 main contenders for Luminosity. Now that Luminosity and Astralis are out, I think NIP VP is going to be a really cool matchup. And I think that the team who wins that quarterfinal is most likely to make it to the grand finals as well. And we still have, you know, room for a Navi VP or a Navi NIP grand final, which would be pretty awesome in my opinion, and would be a really good game.
Here's a map to look forward to as well. Dignitas is playing EnVyUs, and it's almost certain we will see a Dignitas EnVyUs Cobblestone game.
Can't wait to break that down.
That is the classic matchup right there, so I think that'll be very, very good map.
Yeah. Just finally from you, Jason.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what form Dignitas and Mousesports come into this, because we've seen them very, very shaky leading up to this event. They've had a good start, and they've had some big upsets that have kind of thrown this bracket at a whack a little bit.
No, I just wanted to say, especially Mouse.
Pointed.
No, so I wanted to continue your point. Just wanted to say, especially Mouse, since they're playing Godsend, and they are the favorites in that matchup. So it will be interesting to see how they cope with it. Will they perform as good as they have against teams that are favored to win against them?
It's not often Mouse actually come into, well, a quarter-final game, quarter or semi-final game as the favorite. That's for certain. That will be a new feeling for the Mousesports side. That's it, though, from us here in day 3 of DreamHack Masters Malmö. It's always a pleasure. We did see the first episode of Road to Malmö, as it's been dubbed. The next episode of This Is Malmö is going to be available tomorrow as well. The arena does have a few spare tickets available, and you can go and grab them at masters.dreamhack.com. All of those bases covered, and just one more. When we do come back on Saturday, we're going to be diving into it. We're going to have a live crowd. It's going to be spectacular. We hope you can find some time out of your busy schedule here in Sweden to come and see it live. And if you do so, let us know over on Twitter. But for now, guys, we're going to disappear. And when we come back, we are taking a day break. Don't forget it. But Saturday and Sunday is going to be filled with more fantastic CS. So we hope to see you guys there. And while we do go out, the Score Esports walkthrough is going to explain everything about the application that you can get your head around.